Hi. On World Mental Health Day, I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk to you about the nervous system and gain a little bit of understanding of how we can harness this knowledge to promote better mental well-being. So the nervous system is this amazing network that we all have within our bodies that helps to transmit sensory information from our surroundings to and from our brain. Now, the human brain has evolved significantly in our many lifetimes, and obviously, now we're capable of these massive cognitive feats where we like to think of ourselves as these very logical human beings, and we can do these amazing things with our brain, like make computers and do long division and all sorts. But the interesting thing is that our nervous system is really closely connected with the most primitive part of our brain. And that's the part of our brain that's really connected with our fight, flight, and freeze responses. And this is amazing because this is the automatic nervous system. This is the part of our brain that it gives us our instinctual responses, and it's fantastic when we're under in situations of stress, when there's a threat. This was developed when we lived in the wild, and we may come across saber-toothed tigers, or all sorts of real life-threatening situations on a daily basis, and we had to react to them really fast. And if we didn't, we might be gone. So nowadays, obviously, our lifestyle has changed. Most of us aren't living out in the wild anymore. Most of us are lucky enough to have quite a comfortable surroundings. But our brain still, we still have lots of stressors. So our modern day life stressors have changed. We might not be getting chased by wild animals all the time, but we still have valid stressors in our life, whether that is stresses within relationships, whether that is, your work environment, too many emails, too many notifications from WhatsApp groups. We've always been there. These are all valid things. However, it's fair to say they probably, in our logical brain, we probably understand that they don't need the same level of response as running away from a big scary monster. However, it's not our logical brain that is eliciting these responses. It's all coming from our nervous system, our automatic nervous system, which has to react so quickly that sometimes, it maybe goes a little bit too far in its response. Now, there is so much information I could share, and so much we still have to find out about the nervous system, but today I want to keep it brief, and I want to share 3 things with you. So first of all, I'd like us to take a few moments just to really tune in to how we're feeling, and try to bring some awareness to those different states within the nervous system. And then I also want to give you 2 very simple techniques that you can use once you've identified, what kind of state you might be in. I want to give you 2 techniques that you can use to help maybe shift you out of a state if you're feeling particularly activated. So I invite you to just get comfortable. Find yourself a nice comfortable seat. It doesn't need to be on the floor like me. And when you're ready, maybe close your eyes or just look gently down in front of you. And just take a moment just to tune in. And ask yourself, how are you feeling today? How are you feeling right now? How are you feeling in your body, physically? Maybe take a moment to scan through the body bit by bit, from the head, down, and again just noticing, how does each area feel? Maybe there's some areas where you notice you're feeling tension. Maybe there's an area that feels nice and loose and light and easy. Whatever you're feeling, try not to place any judgment, just acknowledge and then move on. And now I'd like you to bring your awareness to your mental state. What's going through your brain right now? What thoughts are moving through there? Are you thinking about work or a conversation you had earlier? Maybe you're not thinking about much at all. Again, just bring awareness. And now I'd like you just to bring your awareness to how you're feeling emotionally. What's going on with you today? Are you feeling happy, energized? Maybe you're frustrated with something. Again, however you're feeling, it's all okay. Just notice. And now I invite you just to bring your awareness to your breath. Breathing in and out through your nose. And just noticing as the breath touches the nostrils, moves up and down the throat, into the lungs. Notice on the inhale as your ribs rise and fall on the exhale. And maybe you notice your breath start to deepen. Take one more full breath in and out. And when you feel ready, you can just gently blink your eyes open. So now that we've tuned into how we're feeling today, I want to share my first technique with you. So this is a yogic breathing technique called Brahmari, which means humming bee breath, which will make sense when we go through it. And this is a really good technique to bring in if you're feeling quite activated, if you're feeling anxious or stressed or angry or frustrated or tense in any way. This is a really good, really effective, really quick way to help just really calm the nervous system and bring you back into a more relaxed state. And it also just feels really, really nice. So I'll demonstrate for you the first time. You might want to watch and then you can join in with me together. So all we're going to do is take the hands and we'll place the thumbs just to gently close over the ears. And then you can allow the fingers just to gently rest on your eyes. You're not pressing, just allowing them to rest. And then all we do here is take a deep breath in through the nose. And we'll exhale with a humming noise. So very simple. I invite you to join me now. And yeah, so just breathe in through your nose and hum on the exhale nice and gently, just for as long as you can. I'd like us to do that 5 times in a row. So don't worry about keeping up with me. Just whenever you've finished your exhale with the hum, take another inhale through the nose and then exhale with the hum again. And you can just count to 5. So again, just placing the thumbs over the ears, resting the fingers over the eyes, taking a deep breath in through the nose to prepare. Once you've completed 5 rounds, you can drop your hands, but maybe just keep your eyes closed for a few moments. And just notice how you feel, allowing those vibrations to move through your body. And again, whenever you feel ready, you can gently blink your eyes open. Hope you enjoyed that technique. It's one of my favourite breathing techniques to do, and certainly for me brings me into an instant place of calm. So the second trick that I'd love to share with you today is kind of has the opposite effect of the first one that we just did. So it's not just these intense, agitated, negative emotions that can affect our mental health. I'm sure some of you, certainly for myself, when I'm not in a great place, sometimes that manifests as like a lethargy and despondence and apathy. You know, this kind of lack of energy, lack of motivation. And this next technique is another really quick and simple way to help shake yourself out of that, quite literally. So what we're going to do is start to shake, and I should say just before we start, I'm standing up. It's great if you can stand up and do this, but if you really feel like you don't have the energy, if you're sitting in a chair, you can kind of do this as well. You might find you end up standing up by the end. So yeah, literally just start to shake through the hands, and then allow it to kind of move through your body, and don't worry if you look a bit ridiculous. So you can shake the hands, maybe bring them up all the way down, and even start to bring the feet into it, so shaking the feet out, giving yourself a wobble. Shake it really, really hard. And then take a breath. And again, you can just close your eyes and notice how you're feeling in your body. You may feel really tingly and energized and alive. So this is a really interesting technique. And if you think about, if you relate it again to our sort of primitive instincts and think of animals, this is something that you see animals do quite often. You know, if they've been perhaps hibernating or sleeping or gone into freeze response. So if there's been a predator and they've played dead for a while, once they realise, okay, I think the situation's safe, I think it's safe to get up and out and get back to my normal life again, they'll have a shake, you know, they'll shake themselves off and then they get up and go. And the same even with, let's look at children. You know, children are much more instinctual, they're much more in touch with their instincts than we are as adults. You know, we've sort of conditioned that out of ourselves. But, you know, when they get frustrated, they shake, they let it out. And yeah, so that's my other very quick, simple technique that you can use, and hopefully doing these back to back, you might really notice, the impact of each of these. So I hope that's been helpful. Definitely got loads more tips that I would love to share, of beautiful techniques to help calm the nervous system and really promote positive mental well-being. But that's enough for today. Thank you for coming along with me.